Right, it got quiet real quick. That's surprising. Normally it's a little more rambunctious, the city council meeting. So what exciting night. My name is Mayor Mike Peterson. This is the city of Cottonwood Heights. Tonight is the meeting that I'm honored to chair, which is the administration of oath of office for our new mayor and two new council members. I also want to recognize in the audience, we have one of our state legislators, Galen Benyon. So welcome, Galen. Want to recognize you. And we have two, we have a former council member, Mike Shelton. So Mike, we want to recognize Mike Shelton. So welcome, Mike. And former mayor who helped create the city and get it started, Mayor Cullimore. So Kelvin, welcome. And of course, I want to offer appreciation for other council members of the past who are not here this evening. We have an agenda. Hopefully you all receive that. It also, are we online also? Yeah, so we want to welcome those online that may have joined us as well, who are watching virtually. In the last 2 years, obviously, we've been doing a lot of online. So I'm becoming a Zoom expert, but I won't be using it in the next few years. Anyway, with that being said, I'd like the audience to please rise as we'll have a posting of the colors and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Council Member Scott Bracken.
Would the audience please join me in repeating the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge.
The audience may be seated. Again, a personal thanks to our own Cottonwood Heights Police Department for that color guard. We're now honored to have a musical number, America the Beautiful, by our city's own Brian Allen and his daughter, Chantel Nate. Actually, 4 years ago, you sang at the same ceremony. You just lost your seats.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Chantel. We appreciate that very much. We have another elected official I'd like to recognize who just came in. That's Amber Schill. She's way in the back. She's representing the Canyon School District, who is a community partner of ours as well, along with many other community partners we have. So we appreciate the support you have for our city, all of you, and to be here tonight with this oath of office ceremony. And that's really why you're here. But before we move to that oath of office, we do have some remarks we'd like to make from the dais. So I'm going to ask if first, if Councilmember Peterson, who was our newest council member before the oath of office this evening, to maybe make a couple remarks. Then I'll ask Councilor Michael, who is District 4 and who champions our foothills and our open spaces. And then we'll go to Councilor Bracken, and then myself as a mayor will make a couple brief remarks. So Doug, any comments? Huh? You can stand up if you don't want it.
I'd rather sit down.
You're
Thanks,
up.
Mayor.
This is an elevated dais.
Yeah. I just, I want to thank those of you that are here to participate in this wonderful situation. I want to tell you first off how much I love Mayor Peterson. What he's done for us in the city is immeasurable. So grateful for his leadership, his inclusiveness to be able to help our city. It's amazing how many different things that we deal with as a city. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with him. I'm so grateful for all the council members and those in the city. Many of us, many of you in the city, as I've been very involved in Cottonwood Heights down in Cottonwood Creek City Council years ago, and had the opportunity to see what was done behind the scenes. But this is much amplified, and I'm so grateful for the work and the service that has been rendered. I'm grateful for those that have run. I'm grateful for those that have been able to put their self out on the line. And I'm grateful for the service that they will render. I'm hope that each one of you is involved in the city, in our meetings, in our work sessions, all the different things, the planning, that you're a big part of this city. And I'm grateful for this evening, and I hope that all of you can support us in all that we do. And thanks so much.
Thank you, Councilor Peterson. Even though he spells his name wrong, we'll get that fixed someday. Councilor Michael, any comments?
I'll be brief. Mayor Peterson has been such a mentor to me, and I'm so grateful to have had these 4 years with him and to be part of this city. I thank each of you for allowing me to represent you. It's been an honor. And I look forward to watching the new mayor and the rest of the new council and seeing great things that our city will have before them. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Michael. Councilor Bracken. Now, I think most of you know Councilor Bracken is the last of the remaining beginnings of our city. He's the original council member from 2005. So the institutional knowledge is terrific to have. So Councilor Bracken.
Thank you. I told him he could make all the old jokes that he wanted. It has been an amazing ride. It is nice to have new voices to hear and see and interact with and move forward as a city. That institutional knowledge every now and then comes in handy, but well, it's not a but. Mayor Peterson, thank you. Thank you. He was involved with the rec center from the very beginnings of the city. He's always been involved, even before being on the council, since then, and then as our mayor. What a tremendous example of a life full of service to the community. It would be wonderful the more people we have that could exemplify that. He's had a number of honors over these last year or so. They're all well-deserved. Scholarships, naming ceremonies, all those sorts of things are wonderful. Thank you very much. Also like to thank our outgoing council Member Michael, thank you for your time, your service. It's not just a show up on Tuesday night type of a job. And I look forward to the next 4 years working with, for the first time, 3 new people on our council since back in the dark ages when we started.
Thank you, Councilor Bracken. Now, a couple remarks. First of all, thank you to those online, those present, and those who are not here. The outpouring of support and thanks to me is beyond what my words can show in appreciation. This microphone is going to make me cry, so I'll try to go slow to maintain my emotions. I think somebody mentioned, maybe it was Scott, that I've had a long year of public service. It's been 50 years ago, the first this year, that I started working with Salt Lake County with inner city youth in Salt Lake. And from there, I moved on to be the Director of County Recreation, Hanson Planetarium, Director of County Criminal Justice Services, and then retired after 30 years and worked as a service area for 15 years and retired there for my second time. Then was honored to be a member of the city council a little over 10 years ago, and I'm now finishing 4 years as mayor. And again, what a bittersweet feeling that it is to serve. One thing in my motto has always been is it's about the people. And I sincerely mean that. It's about the people. That's why we serve. Obviously, you can talk to any one of us. We're not paid a lot of money, unless you get more than I do. We do this because it's about the people of our city. Now, again, I'll be brief, but some thank yous. First of all, to the residents of our city who elected me to the city council and also elected me as mayor and allowed me to serve. It's been an honor the last 4 years to be your mayor. Second, I want to offer thanks to our prior mayor for his efforts and help creating the city, and the prior council members for their dedication, because starting up a city and the complexity is beyond what some people understand. So thankful to them. And also thanks to our current city council. Councilor Bracken, as I mentioned, institutional knowledge has been extremely helpful in his dedication and availability. Councilor Christine Michael, there's no one more passionate about our foothills, our open spaces, and our trails and those types of things. And we need that balance as we work on a council. And Councilmember Doug Peterson, what a great addition to our city council. Lifetime resident, again, has deep roots and a commitment. And I could go on about all that these people do. And like I think it was Doug mentioned, what happens on the city council is much more than you see just in the media or at a meeting. Now, again, we are not all professionals in every arena. Therefore, we need to rely on a professional staff. So I want to offer my personal thank you to our staff. First of all, our city manager, who this council selected about 3 years ago through a long process. And we are so lucky to have someone as professional and dedicated as he is, and work so close with the mayor and the council and, in the communication. Our department heads, as Mayor Como remember, and Scott Bracken, we went through some challenges years ago with snow removal. So thankful to Matt Ship and our Public Works Department for turning those things around and creating a Public Works Department where we can customize to meet our own needs. Also, Scott Jurgis, who oversees our financial department. We're leaving this new council with a strong, healthy fund balance. Hopefully we don't have to look at taxes for years to come, despite all this inflation and challenges. So I'm thankful to Scott and his staff. Mike Johnson, our planning and development staff, what a diamond in the rough he is, and the other staff he has, and where we've expanded that to include sustainability issues and other important planning issues as the gravel pit comes along, Wasatch Boulevard, and other things. They're here to listen to our constituents. Paula Melgar, our city recorder, who also oversees personal other thing has been here almost as long as I have. So Paula, thank you, and runs these meetings and keeps us transparent. Our police chief, we all know what he's been through the last couple of years, but thankful for him for sticking it out and providing what we see here as a council, again, is that police force that is customized to meet our needs and has ongoing challenges. But thankful to him and each of the officers for their dedication and service. Also to our partners with United Fire Authority. When we talk about public safety, it's equally as important to consider the importance of our fire and EMTs. The vast majority of calls to a resident is not fire. They are health-related issues, and those EMTs are critical. So thankful to UFA as a partner, along with the Commonwealth Heights Parks and Recreation Service Area, Riley Pilgrim, our current liaison, and his predecessor, Mike Watson, who was one of our own before he retired. And someone who's not here, we also want to give thanks to our city attorney, Shane Topham. Shane? He's hiding in the back. He should be sitting up here. But anyway, thankful to Shane for, there's so many legal issues that we're always working on. And again, my emphasis of why I thank them is that we are not professional in every one of those arenas. Therefore, we need to rely on their professionalism. Now, as I close my comments, I want to give one recommendation to our new mayor and our new council members. A famous author once stated, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." I think it's critical, and that we as elected official and the new ones always make sure you do a lot of listening before you react, get all of the facts, get all the information before you make a decision or take an action. And I assure you that will pay dividends as you move forward. With that, best of luck and best wishes to our new elected officials, with those who are remaining. And thank you for your service to the city between the canyons, the city of Cottonwood Heights. With that, thank you again for allowing me to serve for these last 4 years. And now we will move to the administration of oath of office. And we will begin first with our newly elected council member, who is my council member from District 3, Mr. Shawn E. Newell. And Shawn, if you'll come on up, and we'll have our city recorder administer the oath of office. And then we'll ask Councilman Newell to make a couple comments after. Even though we're both devastated with Saturday's loss.
I, Shawn Newell, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. I want to first thank everybody for being on this meeting. And I also want to thank those that entrusted me. Okay. I also want to thank those that entrusted in me enough to vote me into this position. In a city, it's just like any other entity, any other team. It's an engine. And I look forward to being a piston in that engine to help create progress. And I'm looking forward to having our entire citizenry be a part of that. I'm excited about getting to know all the staff members, to working with our police department, and to being a greater part of the city that I've been a part of for over 30 years. I hope that we all get a chance to meet each other somewhere, be it Dan Smith's, the gas station, any place, just to say hello. Don't be shy. But I also look forward to adding my lens, a lens that I hope will be valuable to this city and our growth. And with that, again, I want to thank you. I'm honored, and I look forward to serving Cottonwood Heights.
Thank you, Shawn. Appreciate your willingness to serve. Now we'll invite Ellen Birrell, representing District 4. Come on up.
I, Ellen Birrell, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Constitution of the State of Utah, and that I will discharge the duties of my office, with fidelity. Well, welcome everyone this evening to this exciting event. And I want to thank all of the dignitaries that we have, not only here at the podium, but also throughout the audience tonight. It's a thrill. It's also very humbling to think that so many people, not all voters, but many voters in my district elected me to this important job. And as Councilman Shawn Newell said, it will be all I can do to bring the skills, the expertise, and the hopefully good judgment that I've acquired over a lifetime as a mother, a businesswoman, and a member of this community now for over 40 years. So we live here in Cottonwood Heights, the city between the canyons. And do you ever look around and pinch yourself and say, wow, I live here? I literally did that with my sons as they were growing up. It still astounds me. For Utahns and visitors, when you come into Cottonwood Heights, you feel like you've arrived. Our foothills are the doorstep to Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon's grandeur. Like the front door to your home, Cottonwood Heights is the gateway to our canyons, and we can protect our natural resources as well as the safety and public health of our residents and visitors alike. While all city services are very important, I campaigned on my pledge to do all I can to protect District 4's wonderful character and unique qualities. And so I will be working with the council, the staff, and all of you to use the considerable jurisdictional power of our city in the way of resolutions, zoning, and ordinances to make it clear to state and federal agencies, surrounding cities, and Salt Lake County exactly where we stand and what we want and what is permissible in our city. The Cottonwood Heights General Plan Updates 2021 Cottonwood Heights Tomorrow Survey had this key finding: future transportation dreams hinge on transit, more active transportation, traffic calming, and improved pedestrian facilities. And so after the terrible effects of COVID-19 for 2 years, we have all experienced disruptions that have altered our expectations and behaviors. The global pandemic has allowed us to recognize what is important, and creating community is what many of us have come to. Unifying for a city infrastructure, both social and physical, that serves public health and safety has become a key issue. I am very happy and excited to work with the council, with all of you as residents and the city staff in this vein. So mobility is a word that I use instead of transportation, because truly, just like the circulatory system in our bodies, the importance of healthy and safe mobility for our city cannot be overstated. Do we only want to be a drive-through for people to get somewhere else, or do we want the connectivity, walkability, safety, tranquility, and thriving local businesses which bring city fiscal financial vitality? And so our immediate future includes development pressure from the south and the development pressure in the north-south grapple pit, the Hillside Plaza rebuild, and other things, as well as the growth down in Utah Valley. We know that we're only going to see more and more traffic want to come through our city to access the fabulous canyons here, as well as our office buildings and then the north-south commuters. So it's an exciting time to come into the year of 2022 and know that we can again use all of our capabilities, our jurisdictional powers to make sure that we protect this very special place that we have and keep ourselves and our children and the visitors to our city safe. And so I would say that these specific kinds of actions in 2022 will provide protection and care for Cottonwood Heights, the beautiful entry to Salt Lake Canyon's treasures. Thank you.
All right, now please welcome our new mayor, Mayor Michael Weichers. Come on up. Michael Weichers.
That I will obey, that I support, obey, and defend.
That I will support, obey, and defend
The Constitution of the
United States
and the Constitution of the state.
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
And that I will discharge the duties of my office.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
With no doubt.
today.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Do not fear the binder. I practiced this 2.5 minutes. I am extremely humbled to be here today and to now be the third mayor of our great city, a city that my family and I love dearly. I want to recognize first the contributions of two great men who have literally helped to create from scratch and then run one of the best organized and fiscally sound cities in the state of Utah. I've had the opportunity to serve alongside both former Mayor Cullimore and now former Mayor Peterson in roles outside of municipal government and to view them as leaders within our great city. And I could not respect more their integrity, honesty, and passion for the city of Cottonwood Heights. I want to thank them both for their guidance and support and for their shoulders that I will continue to lean on in the next 4 years. I realized early on in the campaign process that I would not get to this point on my own, and I'd like to thank everyone who was willing to engage with others to talk about my campaign. Too many to name individually. I had so many volunteers, leaders within our city who helped to place signs, distribute flyers, and to host meetings with neighbors. I am grateful for the trust they have placed in me, and I am committed to working tirelessly on their behalf to maintain and enhance the community that we call home. I want to thank my wife, Jenny, who encouraged me to run this campaign from the very beginning with the sole requirement that she would never have to give a speech in public. I want to thank my children who helped with website designs, social media, creative content suggestions, and for their overall support for me as their father. I love my family dearly and would not be here today without them. I look forward to working closely with our current city staff, department heads, and city manager, some of whom I've already spent many hours together in the last few weeks. We are blessed as a city for their dedication and love. I want to recognize today the citizens for whom I may not have been their first choice. I want them to know that I am committed to being their mayor as well and listening to all voices. A wise mayor of our city once said, quote, "We are a great community, not because we are all alike, but because we are able to take the best from every corner and combine it into a city where we all live, where we want to live." My personal preferences will not become the city's preferences. I will fight for our ideals, the ideals of our community together, shoulder to shoulder with each of our citizens to make sure we all have a voice together. Thank you.
Again, thank you for your attendance, and I am taking a personal privilege, and I saved this for last by a reason, and that is that, you know, people like all of us up here have people at home who support us. So my personal thanks to my wife, Charlene, who's right up front. About 5 years ago, she told me, if you get into politics, I'll divorce you. I reminded her it's not politics, it's public service. And she said, okay. Something else I've not done in 4 years is I've never used the mallet. So with all that being said, and thanks everyone for your attendance and for our new elected officials for willing to serve, I now declare this meeting adjourned. We do have an open house for those who want to stay around, and we'll have some other guests coming again. Appreciate everyone, those who've chosen to wear masks, appreciate that, but I know it's a personal preference. But we have some refreshments in the back in the Colmore Community Room.